Good morning, everybody. I think I'm just about a minute early. So let me make sure I have this all set up and ready to go. All right, I see Amanda here. Good morning, Amanda, and good morning, Shannon. Welcome to Take 10. This is our last Take 10 of the summer. School starts next week. Yay! Very happy around here for school to be starting again. My kids are super excited too. Good morning, Missy. Today in Take 10, we are playing with something a little bit different, a little bit out of my comfort zone, and we are going vintage. Let's go with this page right here. What's on the back of that page? Maybe not. Let's go. No, we could do this page. Good morning. I see Missy and Jamie and Barbara. Good morning, Debbie and Brenda and Vanessa. So awesome to see all of you guys. Welcome to Take 10. Take 10 is all about just playing, just not worrying about a final product, but really just playing with some different techniques. And that is what we're going to do today. And I'm going to switch this so that this is on a flat surface. Sorry, this is a little funky. Let me see if you guys can still see it. Okay, today we're playing with making something look vintage, and that is a little bit out of my comfort zone. I'm usually a bright, colorful person. Vintage, not always my style as far as what I do in art. Do I love vintage pieces? Yes, very much so. But we're gonna play with making a piece of paper look a little bit old, and I'm gonna tell you some of the tips I've learned and things that people kind of tend to do incorrectly when they're trying to make a piece of paper look aged. So that being said, I have some distress oxide inks. Now, of course, there are tons of ways to make paper look aged. As far as like using tea or coffee to dye it, doing the lemon oil and putting it in the oven, lots of different ways that you can do it. We're going to talk about ways that may involve stuff that you already have in your craft room. So we're using this distress oxide ink. So let's play. Let's see how I do. Again, not my strong point, but that's what I always like to share with you guys. I am not on here to always teach something. Sometimes I'm just experimenting too, and we're gonna see what it looks like. So let me set a timer. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes. And let's get going. So when you are working to antique something or to make it look a little vintage, the biggest mistake that people make is starting out too dark. So I have antique linen. Now, notice I have some browns picked out too. This is going to be odd because I don't have a thing behind it, so I'm going to try. Don't go too dark too fast. Some people just start with their white paper and then go straight to brown. Oh, lemon oil in the oven. Yes, I see someone was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, you can spray paper. That was like an old teacher trick I learned, to spray paper with some lemon oil and then stick it in the oven. It's super fast. So, okay. Now, I am not especially worried. Wait, hold on just a second. Hold on, please. Okay. I'm not especially worried about some of these marks I'm getting because the thing with distress oxide is it's going to keep blending. And notice it's pretty uneven. And again, I'm okay with that. We're going to go from that one to old paper. You want to work from lighter to darker. And you can always, this is the trick with any blending, you're always going to be able to add more. So take your time on the blending. You want to use multiple different colors because that's what makes it interesting. As far as if you're looking at real vintage paper that has actually aged with the benefit of time, then what you're getting, what you're going to get are some different colorations. And that is what makes vintage paper more interesting to look at. Just because. Just trying to get kind of a look. We're definitely seeing bleed through. So on the back of this paper is one of these circular patterns that I had played with in a Take 10. So I'm gonna see now, I'm gonna come back with the antique linen because to me, that's more green than I intended. I realize that you guys might not see all the colors. Whoa, whoa. Okay, this brush was a lot. I got too much on it. That is a lot of color in there. Okay, that's okay. We're gonna blend it out. We're gonna play. A fun thing to do if you are working on how to antique paper like me, and I saw that a lot of you all mentioned working in junk journals and such, which are super fun. Practice antiquing outside of the junk journal, and then like take a piece of paper like this, play with it. If you have areas that you like, then work with those. Okay, I see Peggy asked, how do I clean my blending brush? So these I don't. I keep them in the same color way or color family. With this one, I usually just grab a paper towel on the side and kind of wipe it down pretty well. So that does it enough for me. So I could be very particular, but it's probably not shocking that I'm not super particular on mine. Let's go with, cover this up, tea dye. This is one of my favorites as far as adding in. I like the warmth of the tea dye color. I'm getting some lines in here. But see how fun that warmth is? And I'm not gonna put it all over, just bits and pieces. And I feel like this blending takes a good amount of practice. So I know some of you are like, especially my card making friends on here, y'all are blending experts, and this isn't exactly blending paper because it's soaking it in different ways. But I like that I can keep working on it. Like, whoa, 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 too much right there. Keep adding a little bit here and there to really get the look I'm going for. And now let's go with this a little bit. So also on the vintage paper, on the look, you're gonna wanna go darker around the edges. That's something else that you're gonna see pretty consistently with vintage pieces, is that the edges are going to be a little bit darker. This line, super annoying to me right now. Let me see if I can get any of that worked out. We might be able to. I'm being real heavy-handed, I think. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, so this corner I'm loving right now. Maybe I need more. Okay, look at this corner. Totally digging this one. Totally digging that. Okay, this edge is doing it for me right here. Loving this. So actually I'm going to keep playing with that edge, and now I'm coming in with my darkest color, Vintage Photo, the one I really like using a ton, right here on the edge, and again right on the side, darker on the edges. See how as you're working in and bringing that brown in, it's definitely bringing it that look, that kind of vintage look. Like I said, not a normal style for me, but fun to play with, you know, getting out of your comfort zone. Now I'm taking this and wiping it off and then coming, I'm just trying to get a little bit smoother of a look. Something else I saw someone do online, which I'm curious to see what y'all think. They brought in a lot of yellow. they said that vintage tends to go towards those warmer tones. And so they were like, don't be afraid to go ahead and go like straight up yellow. So I went with Scattered Straw. It's a little bit more of a muted yellow. Let's see. How is that? I kind of dig. Tell me what you think of the yellow. If you are seeing it come in, I'm kind of digging it. I'll be honest. I didn't think I was going to like it, but what I think it's doing is balancing out the green really nicely from the green that was in old paper. I think it's like balancing pretty nicely. And we're just going to continue to blend. Okay, something else I wanted to try. You guys might have seen a few weeks ago, I went to a thrift. I went thrifting with my sister and Amanda, who's actually on here right now. We went thrifting together, and I bought this cool embossing machine, and I thought it would be fun to play with as far as, look at how pretty, you guys. So embossing, take your vintage paper or your fake vintage paper like this and run it through your embossing machines, whether you have a folder, whether you have an embosser like this. Sorry, I'm doing it several times because I want to try some different stuff. And play with that, especially my junk journal friends. You guys, first of all, just like that alone, super cool, fun texture. But let's try going over the top of this embossed area with some different stuff. We're gonna go light to dark. So let's start just with Scattered Straw. I'm being really gentle and just trying to catch the raised area to bring that embossing out. That is cool. Yes, yes please on that. Let's try the old paper. The embosser was such a great buy. Amanda was there with me that day. I think it was my favorite buy the whole day. Let's try old paper. This is has a little bit more green. Let me get a little more ink on here. Yes, look at that. Okay, so running your paper through your embossing. Alexa, stop. Okay, sorry, Alexa. Let's go with the tea dye next. Let me finish what my emboss. Oh yeah. Oh, you guys, look at it with the tea dye. Yes. So if I were a junk journaler, and sometimes I am in my crafty life, you guys know I change up my projects all the time. Sometimes I am a junk journaler. I would be cutting these out and using them all over the place. And here it is with the darkest. That's gonna come out a lot for sure. Look at how pretty. You guys, I could make a bunch of those and use them like all over different places. And the texture is pretty. Love, love, love it. So that is how you kind of create your own vintage look, your own vintage background. It's something to play with for sure. Don't be afraid. Look at how many different colors I use. Too often we just stick with one color. We go with vintage photo because it says vintage and we're like, oh, well, I just have to add that. No, give it some depth, give it some dimension by putting in some different colors. You might end up with lines that you're not loving like I have, but just keep working with it, keep blending, keep playing, and you're gonna end up with a pretty cool piece. And remember, imperfections are part of that vintage look, so don't be scared of them. Don't shy away from them. All right, I hope that was helpful. I'm not sure if I updated the description. I will link Distress Oxides down below right after we finish here for you guys to check out. We should be on a regular Take 10 schedule starting next week because kids are back in school, so that should be awesome. If you ever have any ideas or questions or things you want me to try in Take 10, then be sure to let me know. and we can try them out. We can play together. So I hope that you have a fabulous day. A huge shout out. Any of those names that you see in green are my Scrappy YouTube members, and they are awesome because they really help me be able to continue this channel and also contribute to my family. I absolutely appreciate all of their support. They get some extra goodies like videos and early access to videos. In fact, some more will be going up today. And my bestie group actually Zooms with me every couple of weeks, and we have a Zoom call tonight. So I see a couple of you in here. Heads up, we are Zooming this evening if you are a member of the Scrappy Besties. So other than that, I hope that you guys have an absolutely fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.